Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your scheduling information on Tuesday. So we are going to get in there and talk about scheduling. And you might ask, well, what is this video about? It's about those that have placed an order with a local dealer, and they need to schedule. Once that order gets placed, that order has to be scheduled for a production date. In future months, it gets a production date, gets built, and then it gets shipped to the dealer. So there is a process in this, and getting scheduled is sometimes the hardest part of this. And so we are going to talk about some of these different items and such in this. Now, a little heads up, little housekeeping here. We will not have one of these videos next week. So I hate to let you guys down, but I will be on vacation. And so I will not be to where I'll be able to have cell service. So I will not be doing a video for this for next week. But as we go through this, there'll be a lot of the same notes as this week for next week. They've already scheduled a couple for the last couple of weeks, which is the primary, for the most part, is all of the scheduling for most of these models, with the exception of things that schedule on a more weekly basis, like the Super Duty and the F-150. But they should, some of these notes should be kind of what we have for next week as well. So anyway, good luck for everybody this week and next week for getting scheduled for those production build dates. So let's get in. First, talk about the different terminal. Oh, make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of these videos as we go over this, and also when we go live on our live stream every Tuesday night, which will be live here in just a little bit. If you want to ask your questions live, you can do that. All right, let's get into this terminology. All right, I like to go over this. So when we talk about, you're placing that order with your dealer, they're going to place that order in an order bank. That's where they place all their stock and retail orders. Now, a retail order, that's a customer placed order. That is you. That is that person that's placing that order. Now, a stock order would be an order that's for their lot inventory. So if they don't have enough retail orders, but they have allocations, they need some stock orders in there. So they'll need to place some stock orders in their system as well. Or if they don't, the region will place those orders for you. Priority code, that is a priority that is given to orders by the dealer or by manufacturer. 03 to 19 is the retail order type. 19 is the default. 20 to 80 is stock, and 80 being the default for those stock orders. Now, the lower the better, so a dealer can move those orders and give them lower priorities. So really where that will benefit is the order with the same configuration, the lower the better, right? If everybody's order is the same, then it's all going to come down to just configuration and not anything else. All right. Scheduling. That is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future months. So we are talking about what the Ford is scheduling for most of July production dates for this week. That's what we're going to be talking about. And allocations. Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. Think of that as the currency, right? If you should purchase to get a vehicle scheduled, you have to have an allocation. That's kind of the way it looks. A dealer needs an allocation to schedule that order, and a dealer earns those allocations from their sales of each model within their region. It has nothing to do with how many orders they placed. It has solely to do with how well they sell a particular model. So a dealer that sells a lot of a certain model will always get a lot of allocations. If they don't sell a certain model very well, then they won't get a lot of allocations. Usually you can tell this primarily by looking at their lot. If they have a lot of a certain model, they probably get a lot of allocations for that model. That's a great way of maybe looking at it. Constraints, that's options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And the capacity, that's the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, or option for each model. So sometimes if the amount of orders is higher than the capacity, that's where we get that constraint. Job 1 and 2, well, Ford will split up the production run into different jobs. And people have asked me, well, why do they do that? Well, if they can't, if they don't have production or supplies is not giving them what they need, then sometimes they got to make some changes for job 1 and 2. We're seeing that with the Ranger coming up for job 2. We're also seeing things introduced into the middle of the model year that they can't, it's not ready at the launch of the model, but they still need to get the model launched and producing. Balance out, that's the end of production or the balance out a particular option or model. So there you go. There's all that information. So we'll get into this and kind of talk about this. And I'm going to need my glasses for this because my eyes are tired this late in the day. All right. So first of all, let's talk about the 25 model year Mustang. They Order banks are open up for the 25 model year. I did find out today that the 26 model year order banks will be opening up mid-June. So they're tentative right now, scheduled for June 17th, somewhere around that time. And so this we're gonna get into notes this week on not only this week, but also what's going to happen for next month's scheduling, June scheduling for those August production dates. And Mustang is one of those that's going to be balancing out in August. No scheduling this week for the Mustang plant, so no notes there. All right, next up is the 25 model year Escape. The order banks are open up for the Escape. And by the way, I don't have production or unscheduled numbers this week because of the holiday. But order banks are open up for the 25 model year and will be opening up for the 26 model year June 16th or tentative June 16th. They are not scheduling this week. There is still a note in here, though, even though they're not scheduling, that orders with the engine block heater will not be selected for scheduling. So you'll make sure that's just kind of a note to remind people and dealers for next week. All right. That's it for the Escape. Next up is the 25 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up for the 25 model year, and they will be scheduling for job 3. I know we talked about job 1 and 2, but there's a job 3 for the Bronco Sport, and so they'll be scheduling for those. It is cleanup scheduling. They're going to be scheduling for those production dates in July through July 28th. And it says orders with engine block heater will not be selected for scheduling, so dealers make sure you take those off. And exhaust availability for the Big Ben Black Appearance Package, the Convenience Package, the Tech Package, and also limit availability for the Standard Big Ben, Standard Badlands, Heritage, and the Standard Tire, that 225/65 R17. So just so you're aware of that. Otherwise, it's all I have here for Bronco Sport. Again, we don't have the amount of unscheduled orders, but at this point in time in the month, most dealers used all their allocations. And if they didn't, then it's probably going to be a stock order anyway. And so they're going to be looking for that. So, all right, next up is the 25 model year Bronco. The order banks are open up for the 25 model year. They are scheduled this week for build weeks of 7/7 through 7/28. Cleanup scheduling, which means they want to make sure the dealers that have allocations get those allocations used. So here are some notes for those dealers, because most of the retail scheduling has already been done unless you put an order in the last week. So dealers that have allocations, here's some notes for you. They are needing some 2-door base orders, believe it or not. They need also some Badlands with the 2.7 liter engine orders. They need strop orders. They need Raptor orders. So they need some of those orders. So if you're out there and you're looking for something to place a strop order. You can get it scheduled, or a 2-door base. I think that one will sell well, or Badlands at the 2.7. So if your dealer that has an allocation, those are some of the orders you want to place. Now, here's the things you want to stay away from: exhaust availability for the 4-door base, the Big Ben series, the painted hardtop, that would be your body color painted, and your shadow black painted hardtop. And then also the 17-inch black high gloss painted aluminum wheel with the black beadlock ring. So I think that's the one that's part of the black appearance package with the Sasquatch, if I remember right. And that's all we have for Bronco. Next up is the 25 model year Mustang Mach-E. The order banks are open up for the Mach-E. Believe they're on job 2 now. They are not scheduled this week though. So dealers have an allocation. We'll hold on to those for next week. That's all I have for that. Next up, 25 model year Explorer. The order banks are open up for the 25 model year. Will be closing soon because the 26 model year order bank is opening up June 16th along with Escape. So keep that in mind. And they are not scheduling this week. Most dealers, I know we used all of our allocations last week. So no scheduling for the Explorer for this week. All right. Next up is the 25 model year Expedition. The order banks are open up for the Expedition. Not ready for job 2 yet. So keep waiting on that, because I know some people are waiting for those device holders. That'll probably be job 2 coming up here and here in a month or so. All right. They are scheduling this week, cleanup scheduling. So they're scheduled for build dates July 7th to the weeks of July 28th. And when we say cleanup, that means dealers that have allocations, they want to make sure that those get fulfilled. So here's a note for those dealers. It says no ski for this item. Basically, they're not scheduling for the Platinum Ultimate package because of that wheel. So it says no scheduling, not available for ordering at all. Not even being able to order. It looks like it says in here. So that's crazy. So there you go. That's the only note I have there. All right. Next up is a 25 model year Maverick. The order banks open up for the Maverick as well. They are working towards their schedule for job 3 here, cleanup scheduling. Build dates the weeks of, and basically July build dates through the weeks of 28th. And exhaust availability for the trimmer. They're not scheduling the trimmer this month. And also very limited exhaust availability for the Black Edition hood decal. So that's your black appearance package. It's going to get restricted because of that right there. So other than that, there's not really any other notes there, which is pretty cool because there were some other things that were listed last week. So there we go. All right, that's it I have for Maverick. All right, next up is the 25 model year Ranger. The order banks are open up for the Ranger, and so there's that. And they are scheduling cleanup schedule this week for the weeks of 7/28, just that 1 week. So it looks like they've scheduled the rest of the month other than that week. Very limited scheduling for the U.S. market, it says. So they like I said, they just have the last week they need to schedule, and then they're done. Exhaust availability for the 2.7 liter engine, the black running boards, and the Raptor. So basically, if you're someone that has a dealer that has an allocation not used yet, you need to place a 2.3 liter order, it looks like, without those black running boards. Does that make sense? All right. Next up is the 25 model year Super Duty. The order banks are open up for not only the 25 model year, but also the 26 model year. And at this point, I probably wouldn't place a 25 model year order, but they are scheduling this week for the 25 model year. 26 model year won't schedule yet, not until next month. They are scheduled for the weeks to Kentucky Truck Plant for the weeks of 6/16 through 7/14, and at Ohio for 6/16 through 8/11. So they are actually going to build 25 model year for almost a month longer than Kentucky will. So just so you're aware of that. And then just saying here, any changes to 25 model year orders need to be done by May 27th, which is today. So then they're going to lock those orders in and finish out scheduling for 25 model year, it sounds like. They are needing some F550 series for chassis cab with the 7.3 liter gas engine or the 6.7 diesel engine. That's probably the way I'd go with that. Very limited exhaust availability for the crew cab version. Also 6.8 liter gas engine. The 20-inch bright with the dark carbonized gray high gloss painted wheel. That's the one that's included in the Platinum Plus package. And the Lariat version is also very limited exhausted. Platinum Plus version. And the 10.5-inch axle. That's available on the F250, 350 with the dually, with the 6.7 Power Stroke diesel engine, or with the 6.8 gas or 7.3 gas engine. So that's the only constraints we have, which actually crew cab, that's about everybody, right? So there you go. All right. Again, both order banks are open up right now. You probably want to place a 26 model year order by now if you haven't. So there you go. All right. Next up is the 25 model year F-150. The order banks are open up for the F-150, and they are scheduled this week at Dearborn for the weeks of 7/7 through the weeks of 7/28, and at Kansas City Assembly Plant for the weeks of 7/14 through 7/28. Don't forget, 5.0 liter STX is retail only. And also don't forget about the wheel changes and constraints they're having with the XLT and the STX, as well as the Lariat wheel. So I did a memo about that. So you might want to check that out. Very limited exhaust availability for the 2.7 liter engine, the advanced heads-up display, as well as the tire T24, which is a 275/60R20 black sidewall all-terrain. That's the one that's optional on the 302A, and it's included in the 303A and standard on the King Ranch. And very limited availability for the 3.5 EcoBoost engine. So there you go. If you're a dealer out there that has allocations you need to use, work around those constraints right there. And then also the 25 model year F-150 to Lightning. Order banks are open up for the Lightning. They are scheduled for the weeks of 7/28. Looks like they've scheduled everything else outside of that. No constraints here because I think that's a new week they're scheduling for. So they have open availability for that week. So there's that. And then lastly, is a 25 model year Transit. The order banks are open up for the 25 model year Transit. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 6/23 through the weeks of 7/14. They need some cutaway and chassis cab orders. They need some medium roof orders, low roof van, 12 passenger seating configuration, the fifth wheel double orders. Very limited exhaust availability, though, for the high roof long van. So keep that in mind if you need a place. I know we have one allocation available, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to configure that today. So there's that. Now let's get in. I do have information in here for August production now. Of course, everything we talked about today is for those July production dates. And this here won't go into effect probably until the week of the 9th of June is probably when this will start for the notes I'm going to tell you now. And this is what we call wholesale. And that's going over information for those August production dates and what's going on in August. And there's a lot of movement here. Now, for one, it says right now, currently, the order banks are open up. We already went over that. Pretty much everything's open up. And I did mention some of the order banks that are opening up soon as well. Now, let's get into the notes for what's scheduling for the month of August for each model. First off, the 25 model year Mustang Mach-E. They will be scheduling 2 weeks of production. And it says in here for the weeks of 8/18 to the weeks of 8/25. Probably means that the plant's going to be down the first 2 weeks. That's usually what that means. And then next up, no control or commodity controls means that free demand on about anything you want to order, they can make it. Next up is a 25 model year Mustang. For August, it is balance out for the Mustang for the 25 model year. So they are going to be scheduled for the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 9/1. Again, retail only. It says retail only balance out. That means you probably could still get some stock ones in there because I don't think they're going to start production until like a week or two into August. Night Pony package is actually it says Night Pony package retail only for balance out. Okay, so Night Pony package is retail only. So just because they're balancing out. So that's what that note meant. So there you go. All right, next up is a 25 model year Escape. It is balancing out for the month of August as well. It does say 5 weeks, but yet the dates are for the same as they are for the Mustang. The weeks of 8/4 to the weeks of 9/1. That would be probably 5 weeks, right? Plug-in hybrid runs the same. They're balancing out as well for 25 model year. It does say 10% platinum control, 0% on engine block heaters. So take off the engine block heaters. It will not get scheduled. So, and then only 10% of production will be platinum. No other notes other than that on there. So 25 model year Bronco is going to be scheduled for 4 weeks of production for the weeks of 8/4 to the weeks of 8/25. And so it does say in here, Big Ben is going to be 32% of production. So it's up. It says it's up 2%, but I thought that was the numbers last month. It does say MIC free demand. So the molded in, carbonized gray molded in top is free demand. So they can make as many as you want to put in there. Outer Banks, the modular painted is 15%. So that's probably, I don't know if it's the body colored or the probably either one. 15%. They say that's up 2% from last month. And then it does say they need some 2.7 Badlands orders as well. All right. Next up is a 25 model year Bronco Sport. They are scheduled for 4 weeks of production for the weeks of August 4th to the weeks of August 25th. Says Big Ben black appearance package available, 8%. We know that wasn't available last month, so that's good news there for those that want that. And 0% engine block heater. So again, take those engine block heaters off your order for Bronco Sport. No other notes there. So it looks like we're back to being able to schedule the other trim levels again. All right, next up, 25 Explorer is balance out for August. They're doing 7 weeks of scheduling because they're going to flip over in the middle of September. So they're going to be scheduled for the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 9/15. So dealers will see a bigger number on Explorer than normal because it's going to be for 7 weeks instead of 4. It does say the 2.3 liter rear-wheel drive is now free demand. So the capacity of the 2.3 liter is back to full pace now. It does say 4-wheel drive is at 43%, and the 3.0 liter Platinum 4-wheel drive is 4% of the capacity for that period. So there you go. 25 model year Expedition, scheduled for August build dates, the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 8/25. Says active is back at 45%. Lux package, I'm assuming that's the ultimate package, says 0%. So recommend removing from orders to schedule. So if If you want that Lux, the Platinum Plus package, looks like it, or Ultimate package, I guess, that is looks like 0% for this month. So there's your notes for Expedition. 25 model year Maverick, scheduled for 4 weeks of production in August for the weeks of 8/4 through 8/25. 0% all-wheel drive hybrid. They need more front-wheel drive hybrid, it says. Also says 0% trimmer. I really thought that would be back this month. Also 0% engine block heater. So no trimmers, no engine block heaters, and no all-wheel drive hybrid. So if you're wanting a hybrid, it's got to be front-wheel drive next month. Otherwise, all-wheel drive EcoBoost looks like might be the configuration to go with. I'm just giving you the news. Next up is the 25 model year Ranger. 4 weeks of production in August, so the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 8/25. And the 2.7 liter engine will be built at a 15% capacity. So very low there on that. So keep that in mind. That's it. All I have. 25 model year F-150. August production, 4 weeks, the weeks of August 4th or the weeks of August 25th. They need more 2.7 liter orders. 0% of the 18-inch standard wheel, and then consider removing the moonroof from the non-hybrids. Now, that 0% of the 18-inch wheel, that is that chrome wheel that's standard on the XLT 300, 301, and 302A, as well as the Lariat 500A. Made a video about that. We talked about that. You'll need to switch over to one of those black appearance package wheels, right? So or with a black appearance package, I should say, or on like a platinum, like an 302A, you could add the 20-inch chrome wheel if you want, or on the, otherwise, flip to a different package there. All right, next up is the 26 model year Super Duty. So that'll be startup for August production dates, but it'll be late. It'll be July and August, actually. So they're going to be scheduling 6 weeks of production for the weeks of 7/21 through the weeks of 8/25. And it does say in here, F450 pickup going up from 5% to 7.1%. So production is up on the F450 at the launch for 26 model year. So good news for those that have a 25 not scheduled. When it goes to 26, that production is going to be up. Get that order in, because some people may not notice and realize that they need to put an order. So make sure you get your order in and get that early production date. All right. Next up, 25 model year Transit is doing August balance out, 6 weeks of production, and they're actually going to be scheduling into September. So the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 9/8. And the only note in here is high roof passenger will be at 3% capacity. So pretty low there. All right, next up, 25 model year F-150 Lightning. Scheduling for August build dates, 4 weeks for the weeks of 8/4 through 8/25. Here's a breakdown of the capacity on production. XLT will be 20%. Flash will be 45%. Lariat will be 27%, and Platinum will be 8%. So that's kind of a breakdown on that. And then lastly, 25 model year eTransit, August balance out. So for that, just like for the Transit, 6 weeks of production for the weeks of 8/4 through the weeks of 9/8. Does say dealer need orders from dealers that committed to allocation from prior months. So we actually took care of ours there. Now, let's talk about some of the specialty stuff. Specialty usually works along with what the rest of the model does, but let's just go through this and go over some notes here. 25 model year Dark Horse, a Mustang Dark Horse, again, balance out for August. So the weeks of 8/4 through weeks of 9/1. It's 5 weeks of scheduling. No notes in there. I would try to keep those builds simple, though, where you probably, and dealer needs an allocation for these, so we'll just see. Next up, 25 model year Ranger Raptor, 4 weeks of production, the weeks of 8/4 through 8/25. No notes there. 25 model year F-150 Raptor and Raptor R, 4 weeks of production for the weeks of 8/4 through 8/25. Now, a little note here for the Raptor. 801A is going to be built at 65%, 802A at 35%. So there you go. There's that. And then 25 model year Bronco Raptor, 4 weeks of production for the weeks of 8/4 through 8/25 with no controls on anything there. So there you go. So that's all the information, not only for this week, and probably you can use those same notes for next week since we won't be doing a video next week, but also information for what's going on for August build dates and even some of the models September. So some of them are doing balance out. A lot of them are balancing out next month for August production dates. So being aware of that if you're placing an order this time of year, to be figuring that out. See if you can get a late 25. Now's the time to get those orders in for a lot of those models if you want to have that for that August production dates. So hopefully this did help you out. If it did, smash the like button, and don't forget to make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of these videos. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll try to answer those the best I can between now and the weekend, Friday, and because I'll be on vacation for about 9 days and won't be able to. I probably won't answer too many while on vacation, but do post those down there, or better yet, come over to our live stream. We love taking those questions from you that you have on scheduling. We'll be going live on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. So make Central Time. So make sure you're in and come in, and we'll answer your questions live if you'd like. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Till the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you on the next video.